Right now, coming down to one final shot in overtime as the Badgers move on to the finals. Also, the UW system details its proposed tuition increase for the next school year.
And we're starting to see a little bit of sun, but cloudy conditions and winds will be highlighting our weekend. We'll be taking a look coming up.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us here on Weekend Mornings. I'm Shane Hogan. We're going to start with that breaking news overnight. Residents have been evacuated from an apartment fire in a building in Monona after a fire broke out overnight. This is brand new video that we received from overnight. Fire crews got calls of smoke showing near the roof area of this apartment building on 353 Owen Road. It's right near St. Stephen's Lutheran Church. The initial calls came in just after 3:30 this morning. There are still fire crews from multiple agencies on scene right now, including Monona Fire, Fitchburg, Cottage Grove, and more. So far this morning, no injuries have been reported, but we will continue to provide updates on this fire situation as we get them. Now let's send things over to Julian Seawright. He's here this morning with your forecast. Good morning, Julian.
Good morning, Shane. And we are 2 days away from spring, even though it's not going to feel anything like it. Here's what we're seeing for us as of right now. Heading into the rest of today, we're going to be looking at windy conditions. Right now for Madison, not so much as stronger winds towards La Crosse, but around the Madison and southern Wisconsin areas, we're going to be dealing with winds that will be gusting from anywhere to the lower to middle 20s and even could reach around the 30 miles per hour range throughout the course of the day. So it's once again one of those days where you got to hold on to any kind of loose items that you're going to be carrying as you're heading out in this morning and the rest of today. But with these gusty winds also brings the threat of very cold temperatures. Right now, as we are getting things ready for our Saturday morning, from Madison to Monroe, even for Janesville, areas are looking throughout all of southern Wisconsin of temperatures well below zero as we continue going into the rest of this morning. We will see slight improvements as we continue throughout the rest of today, but take note, it is cloudy and it is very cold as you are starting your Saturday morning. Some areas are even reporting flurries, especially just towards the Madison airport. But outside of it, it is going to be a cloudy and cold day. We'll take a look at what else we can to plan out the rest of our weekend in just a few moments. Till then, back to you, Shane.
All right, Julian, thank you very much.
Now Harvey again with some room. She scores! Harvey sends Wisconsin to the national title game.
Well, it was a thrilling finish at the Ames Oil Arena in Duluth, the final border battle between Wisconsin and Minnesota. The Badgers women's hockey team just one of only two to remain this season. In an exciting game Friday night, Wisconsin and Minnesota took it to overtime in what again was the final border battle of the season. Armand Rahman and Zach Hanley have more.
We talked about Wisconsin's resiliency this season, and in their biggest game to date against their bitter rival, it was on display again in a do-or-die game. Round 6 between the Badgers and the Gophers. Winner heads to the national championship. Bucky trailed 1-0 in the third and then caught fire. Layla Edwards slides one past the tender to tie things up at 1. Then minutes later, it's a 2-on-1 for Wisconsin, and Sophie Shirley makes it a 2-1 Badger lead. Now, the Gophers would tie this one up late in the third and send it to overtime, but in OT, KK Harvey sends Minnesota packing. The freshman All-American goes top shelf, and the Badgers move on with a 3-2 win.
Honestly, I blacked out, but it was pretty crazy. I think Britta or Jessie threw the puck across the slot. Layla told me she was actually about to catch it, and she felt me there. She let it go, and then I was just able to shoot that puck and try to pick that corner, so it's lucky enough to go in.
So it's on to Ohio State for Wisconsin in the national championship game. And Armand, you met a group of Badgers who live for this.
Yeah, I know you could call them super fans who couldn't be happier to see the Badgers advance to the finals of the Frozen Four.
The atmosphere, and loved that everyone was just really enjoying the game no matter who was playing.
Drew, Tony, Andy, and Kevin might as well be called the Frozen Four because they've made it a point to go every year.
This will be our 4th Women's Frozen Four, and we've been to 5 Men's Frozen Fours. Badgers got a goal within the last 16 seconds of the game. to win against Boston College in 2017. And I think at that moment we were like, we're coming to this tournament every year.
But since then, the four Scotties haven't been there to experience the Badgers take it all. So they're hoping to relive that glory in Duluth.
We've missed 2 women's Frozen Fours in the past 6 years, and they were both the ones that the Badgers won, because we couldn't make it out to Connecticut in 2019, and then fans were not allowed in 2021. So hopefully we can break that streak here this weekend.
But when it comes down to it each year, it doesn't matter who's on the ice. They were on their feet during the Ohio State Duluth Finals last year.
I had to take a step back and be like, I went to Boston U and I live in Madison, Wisconsin, and I am yelling my head off for the Ohio State Buckeyes. It was a little weird, but I had a good time.
We've got some friends from Duluth, and they sent us some Duluth jerseys that we wore out in State College. So we were there rooting for a team even though the Badgers weren't there.
Because what these Frozen Four are super fans of is the game of hockey.
The intensity is there, the passion is there, and I think it's just you feel that and you get really good hockey games.
So obviously they'll be here Sunday hoping for the Badgers to take it all.
And we'll be here too at Amsoil Arena for Armand Rahman. I'm Zach Hanley, News 3 Now.
In more local news this morning, a surprise at the state capitol. Doug LaFollette, the Secretary of State, announcing his retirement effective immediately. He was first elected to that post in 1974 and just 3 months ago was re-elected for his 10th consecutive term in office. Governor Evers also announcing Sarah Godlewski will be his replacement. Her appointment will be effective starting today. The UW system releasing more details on its proposal to increase tuition and fees for the upcoming academic year. The announcement was made earlier this month, and under the proposal, the average cost of attendance would increase 4.2% when factoring in room and board, but increases would vary by school. The Board of Regents is set to consider the proposal during its meeting later this month. We have a full breakdown of the university's changes up on channel3000.com. UW System President Jay Rothman also announcing the 3 finalists to become UW Whitewater's next chancellor. Tammy Edovich has served as interim chancellor since last June. Artanya Wesley is Whitewater's vice chancellor for student affairs, and Philip Cavalier is currently the interim chancellor at the University of Tennessee Martin. A UW Platteville educator has returned from a visit to Turkey where she joined a team of people assessing the damage from the massive earthquakes there last month. Dr. Azkula has a PhD in structural engineering, and she says the type of work she participated in can help prevent future earthquakes from having such an effect. Her work is not only helping those in Turkey, it's also helping students at UW Platteville.
In the class, we see the theory. And theory is just like by book, right? And what is more interesting for students, for anyone, when they realize that the importance of civil engineers, then they start to think that, okay, the time that we are spending in here is too much valuable.
In a statement, UW Platteville's chancellor said, quote, not only is she making a positive impact in that region, but by sharing her experience and research with UW Platteville students, she is helping to better prepare the next generation of engineers to do the same. 8:07, a random break-in and attack in Middleton leading to an arrest and an elderly woman injured. It happened Tuesday night on Maywood Avenue. Police say the 20-year-old female suspect climbed up an apartment building to a patio door and broke in before attacking a 77-year-old woman who was sitting in a recliner. The victim and the suspect do not know each other. Now to some madness in the NCAA tournament. Down goes number 1. For just the second time in tournament history, a 16 seed has defeated a 1 seed as Farley Dickinson taking down Purdue. FDU stayed with Purdue the whole game, a real back and forth matchup. But Purdue, right here, you see it. They had a chance to tie it with a 3 with about 10 seconds left. It was no good, and FDU would seal it with a few free throws, and that will do it. You can see the jubilation in their faces. They just took down a number 1 seed. The only other time a 16 beat a 1 was when UMBC did it just a few years ago against Virginia. And that loss is going to eventually affect the standings in our News 3 Now bracket battle. The morning team, which I made a few picks for, is currently in first place. But Chris, Josh, and myself did have Purdue in the championship game, as did Mark and Susan. So we'll see how that all plays out. The morning crew has 24 points in first place. Eric and Charlotte, they're in second with 23, followed by Live at 4 with 22. And Zach Hanley, our sports director, he's in last place with 19. Still ahead this morning, we are keeping the St. Paddy's Day spirit alive in the 608. And you are taking a live look at the Capitol this morning. Julian's got the full forecast when we come back.
Call for action only on News 3 Now.
Congratulations! It's a new sewing machine from the Electric Needle. It's more accurate than older models and has hassle-free threading. Plus, it comes with free unlimited owner's lessons. Find sewing success at the Electric Needle. Frontage Road off Seminole Highway.
Habush attorneys are the best of what a personal injury attorney is about.
To get the most money for your case, you need to have a law firm that's unrelenting.
We will fight with all that we have in person power, in knowledge and experience to bring about the result they deserve.
I can't give them their life back how it was, but I can give them the financial compensation to get their life back on track.
Two candidates for Supreme Court, two very different beliefs. Judge Janet Protasewicz. She believes women should have the freedom to make their own decisions on abortion. Extremist Dan Kelly, he supports the 1849 law that takes away women's rights and criminalizes abortion, even in cases of rape, incest, and health of the mother. So who represents you? An extremist or a common sense judge? Vote by April 4th.
You may want to attend college,
but you have a full-time job and kids that need your full-time attention.
How can you possibly attend college?
You learn online at South University.
Earn your degree any hour, any day, from anywhere.
And the credit transfer policies also make it easier to return to college.
The convenience of taking classes where you want.
The flexibility of taking classes when you want.
So you can become who you want.
South University Online.
1-800-211-2082.
This is how legends are made.
Chevy Silverado and new Silverado HD. Choose your own path with the #1 best-selling retail full-size pickup and see where it takes you. Find new roads. It's Chevy truck season. Get 0% financing plus make no monthly payments for 90 days on all Silverado 1500 pickups. And current Chevy owners get $2,500 cash allowance on this Silverado with a turbo high-output engine. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
Congratulations! It's a new sewing machine from the Electric Needle. It's more accurate than older models and has hassle-free threading. Plus, it comes with free unlimited owner's lessons. Find sewing success at the Electric Needle. Frontage Road off Seminole Highway.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
And taking a look at how we are going to be starting out our Saturday. Well, it's going to be cloudy, it's going to be cold, but folks, there's also one other thing that's going to be windy. Windy throughout the rest of today, even leading into Sunday. The good news is, though, it's going to start to taper off once we get closer to the Sunday hours. But for the rest of today, if you have any loose items outside, you might want to tie them down. It's going to be a bit on the breezy and windy side throughout the rest of this morning and throughout our afternoon hours. But the good news is temperatures will improve once we get into Sunday and heading into next week. We're even going to be looking at more spring-like temperatures, 40s and even 50s. So let's go ahead and talk about the rest of this weekend and give a little preview of what we can expect heading into next week. Here's a look at our surface map as of right now. It is cold and it is windy as we get those northwesterly winds really impacting the upper Midwest. And that's going to continue throughout the rest of today and even heading into the nightly hours. As that low pressure system that brought us plenty of rain on our Thursday has moved its way out, we're still dealing with the winds. Now the cold front has moved in, temperatures are going to stay within the 20-degree range throughout the course of today. So here's a look at our wind gusts throughout the upper Midwest. Not so bad for La Crosse, but for Madison, we're still dealing with around 23 miles per hour gusting winds as of right now, which has brought in our wind chill values to be about 3 degrees below zero. Even for La Crosse, winds aren't super gusty, but they're sustained still at a breezy pace. So we're still looking around 2 degrees below zero of what it feels like. Now, the improvements in terms of wind chills will come once we get to the later morning hours, close to the noon hour, but it's still going to be very cold for today. It's one of those days where you want to layer up, and if you don't have to go outside, I'd recommend just staying in and enjoying the warmth of your home. Heading into tonight, we're going to see those temperatures start to climb back a bit as we are seeing surface temperatures themselves start to rise as we have a shift in those southerly winds starting to come later into tonight. Now, outside of it, here's how today is going to be panning out. It's going to be cloudy. You may see some breaks in the cloud, but overall it is going to be a really just quiet, cold, and breezy day for us. Heading into Sunday, different story. Shift in wind speed is going to bring temperatures into the lower 30s by the time we get into our noon hour, and on top of it, plenty of sunshine throughout the upper Midwest. Once we get into our Sunday afternoon, some areas be close to the 40-degree range, especially near La Crosse, but as we get into our Sunday nights, going to be much more milder than what we're dealing with for tonight in itself. Here's a quick look at a weekend. 24 degrees for today. We're going to see those winds being very cold, windy throughout the rest of today. And then for tomorrow, 39 degrees, but plenty of sunshine. Here's a look at our 10-day forecast. You can see how things are really going to improve once we get into next week. So spring is Monday. That's the official start of our next season of spring. And it's going to be around 47 degrees. Then we're into the lower 50s, mid 40s for Thursday, back and forth a little bit, but some rain showers in the forecast and even some potential thunderstorms for not only Madison, but even for La Crosse by the time we get into our Thursday and for our Friday, Shane. A little bit of a change of pace, but I can take this change.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I walked out the door this morning and I was confused what month it was. So I will welcome some rain if that means it's coming with 40s and 50s.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
I'm ready for spring.
All right, Julian, thank you. Well, the Shamrock Hop is happening at Stonehorse Green in downtown Middleton today. This is a family-friendly event. It starts at 1 o'clock this afternoon with a Shamrock Hunt for kids. That's happening around 2:15. You can also expect food, drinks, and live music. The Maple Syrup Fest is also back this afternoon at the Aldo Leopold Nature Center in Monona. They're calling it a sticky sweet way to kick off spring. This family-friendly event offers a blend of indoor and outdoor activities found nowhere else in Dane County. Stations will lead visitors through the history and science of maple syruping and related activities. The event is free and you can expect food carts available, but for a fee, no registration is required. And today is the annual Battle of the Badges. This is between the Mad City Police Hockey Team and Madison Fire Hockey Team, as well as a special military all-star game. Doors at the Madison Ice Arena open at 2:45 with events happening all the way until 8 o'clock tonight, including an open skate. Tickets are $5 and kids 3 and under get in for free. Proceeds benefit the Safe Communities Madison-Dane County Recovery Coach Program. Still ahead this morning, a recall impacting millions of drivers. We'll tell you the details when we come back. And there are several new shows and movies to check out this weekend. Will Loper shares his picks in 3 things to watch.
The price of gold is at a 7-year high. Get top cash on the spot for your gold at Diamond Select. Cash in today while the price of gold is high. Don't miss out. Get instant cash for your gold today at Diamond Select, downtown Stoughton.
At Lawton Cates, we're all about comebacks. Whether it's helping you recover after an accident or return to the job following an injury, we fight the odds and the insurance company for our clients every day. Your life counts. Lawton Cates.
After driving cattle in the 1880s, hitting the hay could be a literal experience. But some lucky cowpokes got to sack out in a brand new Sealy mattress. And after 140 years, Sealy is still delivering a great night's sleep.
That's why Denver Mattress is proud to offer the Sealy Posturepedic Plus hand-filled mattress. And right now, save up to $250 and enjoy Posturepedic support where you need it most.
Denver Mattress, the easiest way to get the right Sealy.
Backyard living season is coming soon. Coolview has great solutions to beat the backyard blues and save 15 to 25%. Cover your deck with a screen porch, an enclosed porch, or sunroom. If you have a screen porch, let us turn it into an enclosed porch. Shade your patio with a pergola or awning. All on sale now. Let CoolView show you how to tame your backyard blues. Call now for a quote before the sun sets on savings.
Get a new view from CoolView.
I'm Lynette. This is my husband, Arthur.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe her in her 70s, huh?
I have recommended Consumer Cellular to so many people.
She was the one to convince me to come over to her side.
That's right.
Come on over to Consumer Cellular and save. AARP members get 2 lines of unlimited talk, text, and data for just $55 a month.
The coverage has been excellent.
You know, it gives us exactly what we want.
You should go with Consumer Cellular.
Switch today. Call or go online.
Create your perfect room for entertaining, relaxing, and more with patio enclosures. Right now, get 25% off your sunroom. Plus, enjoy exceptional financing. Call today.
Patio enclosures. Need life insurance? SelectQuote found Jacob 40, a $500,000 policy for only $19 a month. And SelectQuote found his wife Wendy, a $500,000 policy for only $17 a month.
Our secret? At SelectQuote, we aggressively comparison shop up to 10 highly rated companies to find you the company with the best rates. Why pay more? Give your family the security they need at a price you can afford. SelectQuote. We shop, you save.
At Diamond Select, our on-site goldsmith can create a beautiful one-of-a-kind piece. Whether it's repurposing an old ring or creating from a picture online, we're here to help you create jewelry of your dreams. Diamond Select, downtown Stoughton.
Let's go ahead and plan out our Saturday. How are things going to be panning out for us? Well, we are starting to see some breaks in our sky cover, which is good news. We're going to be looking at a little bit of sun throughout much of the area for us. So here in Madison, this is what we're going to be seeing. Temperatures into the middle to lower 20s throughout the afternoon hours, but the cloud cover is really going to be sticking around for us. Again, we may see some breaks in those clouds, but overall, our skies are mainly going to be cloudy. Now, heading into La Crosse, we're looking very similar. We will start to see those wind speeds again really being a factor and making things very cold throughout the course of the day, so make sure that you are layering up. Now, outside of that, here's a look at what we're going to be seeing in regards to planning out the rest of the day. It's going to be quiet. We're not looking at any kind of precipitation, but the cloud cover in itself is still going to remain a problem. Again, our high temperature is going to be around 24 degrees, but we'll plan out the rest of the weekend in a few moments. Until then, back to you, Shane.
All right, Julian Seawright, thank you very much. Well, there is clearly no shortage of films and shows streaming nowadays. Our Will Loper sharing a few of the best in this weekend's 3 Things to Watch.
How do I find her?
Follow the magician's elephant.
Newly streaming on Netflix is the animated film The Magician's Elephant.
I have one final trick.
Your hair. Based on the 2009 novel of the same name, the film tells the story of a young boy who goes in search of his younger sister and is told an elephant will lead him there.
My sister lives, and I will find her.
Extraordinary things are possible. The Magician's Elephant is streaming on Netflix now. If you believe.
The city is for some glamorous, stimulating, prosperous. Only recently has it become dangerous.
Newly streaming on Hulu is the film Boston Strangler.
Jack, I think I found something.
You're on the lifestyle desk. You're not covering a homicide.
I think the murders are connected.
Keira Knightley stars as a reporter who breaks the story of the true-life criminal in Boston in the 1960s.
Walk away.
Everything lines up with him. His history, the progression of the crimes, everything.
You know how many people I've gone down the rabbit hole with? It's a dead end every time with this case.
Boston Strangler is available to stream on Hulu now. And newly streaming on Apple TV Plus is the 3rd season of Ted Lasso. Every everyone's favorite lovable coach is back, navigating his soccer club's promotion to the English Premier League, trying not to finish last. The first episode of Ted Lasso Season 3 is streaming on Apple TV Plus now.
I love you guys so very much.
Those are the 3 things you need to watch, and this is Will Loper for Weekend Mornings.
Our thanks to Will Loper, as always. Coming up next this morning, an arrest warrant is out for Vladimir Putin. What this means for the war in Ukraine.
Clean, safe, fun. I was hoping daytime care for Mom would be like that. Oh, Grace's new center is so nice. Now, caring for Mom is so much easier.
It's easier to manage my chemo side effects since a Grace Supportive Care came to see me. It was a Grace, but it wasn't hospice.
When you're ready for hospice, you want a Grace. They helped make my dad's last weeks comfortable, calm. It was beautiful.
A Grace, caring every step of the way.
Suffering from middleman mattress markup malaise?
You have no idea.
Then ditch the distributor and shop factory direct savings at Denver Mattress instead. And during the March mattress sale, get the Summit Firm for only $299.99. Save $100 on our Doctor's Choice lineup. And get 1 Doctor's Choice pillow for $39.99 or 2 for $69.99. Plus 3 years no interest and free shipping. Say no to middleman mattress markup malaise and shop Denver Mattress today. The easiest way to get the right mattress.
This is Kathy. She's about to see her dentist. She's afraid. Not because of the drill, but because of the bill. A big bill. But Kathy doesn't need to be afraid, and neither do you. Thanks to affordable dental insurance from Physicians Mutual Insurance Company. It's easy to get this coverage. Don't believe me? Call or go online for all the details. You could even have this free information kit. This isn't a discount plan or preventive-only coverage. This is real dental insurance. It helps pay for over 400 procedures. That's a lot. I'm talking cleanings, fillings, crowns, bridges, root canals, even dentures. Bottom line, you'll have help paying for routine care and expensive major work. But if you want deductibles, forget it. There aren't any. No annual maximum either. Plus, you can see any dentist you want. Stop fearing the big bill. Start saving at the dentist. Call now or go to sendinfokit.com.
Physicians Mutual, Physicians Mutual.
One call, that's all.
The call to Gruber Law offices is 0. The consultation is 0. Retaining is 0.
I never had to worry about one bill.
They did not ask for anything up front. If I didn't get anything, they didn't get anything.
It didn't cost me anything to call Gruber Law offices.
Gruber did a good job for us.
And there's never a fee until we win your case.
It costs absolutely nothing to contact Gruber Law offices.
I didn't come out of my pocket for anything.
Dan Kelly is extremely corrupt. 6 times Kelly ruled in favor of a plaintiff with close ties. He was on their advisory panel. He took contributions from their board. And all 6 times, Kelly ruled in their favor. Another time, Kelly changed his mind about whether to judge the Zignego case after pocketing $20,000 in contributions from the Zignego family. Corruption, extremism, that's Dan Kelly.
Right now, an arrest warrant issued for Russian President Vladimir Putin. How the country is responding this morning.
And we have a cold start to our weekend. We'll be breaking down the details coming up.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us here on Weekend Mornings. I'm Shane Hogan. We're going to start with that breaking news from overnight. Residents have been evacuated from an apartment building in Monona after a fire broke out overnight. This is brand new video that we received from overnight. Fire crews got calls of smoke showing near the roof area of this apartment building on 353 Owen Road. That's right near St. Stephen's Lutheran Church. The initial calls came in just after 3:30 this morning. You can see heavy flames and smoke on the building. This was earlier this morning when this video was taken. Right now, though, crews are still on the scene. Multiple agencies on scene right now. That includes Monona Fire, Fitchburg, Cottage Grove, and more. Again, crews are still on scene. So far, no injuries have been reported, and we will continue to provide updates on this story as we get them. Now let's send things over to Julian Seawright. He's got a check on your first warned weather.
Well, we are just about 2 days away from spring and is not feeling anything like it once we start our weekend. Temperatures are into the teens and they feel like they're well below zero. But folks, we are at least hopeful that we are going to see some change, and that's what we're going to be talking about coming up in a few moments. But as of right now, we are looking at some gusty winds throughout much of southern Wisconsin into the middle to lower 20s and even near 30 miles per hour winds throughout much of southern Wisconsin, which is going to be pretty much the issue throughout the rest of today, which is bringing our wind chill values as we're waking up this morning to feel very, very cold. We're talking about below zero temperatures for 3 to 4 to even 5 degrees below zero throughout much of southern Wisconsin. So in essence, make sure you are layering up if you're heading out the door this morning and even for later into this afternoon. Temperatures are going to be into the middle 20s, but cloud cover and the winds themselves are not going to be letting up from Madison or for La Crosse. So we're going to be seeing very cold conditions throughout the rest of today. So again, make sure that you're dressing for the occasion, which means we're going to be looking at later type of weather heading into our Saturday. We'll talk about the rest of the weekend in a few moments. Until then, back to you, Shane.
All right, Julian, thank you very much. The International Criminal Court has issued an arrest warrant for Russian President Vladimir Putin for war crimes, implicating him in the abduction of thousands of Ukrainian children during the war. Russia, though, has repeatedly denied these accusations, saying it's rescuing the children. The country does not recognize the ICC's jurisdiction. CBS News correspondent Christian Benavides reports.
He's clearly committed war crimes.
President Biden reacting to the arrest warrant issued for Russian President Vladimir Putin by the International Criminal Court at The Hague. The ICC accused Putin and Maria Lvova-Belova, the country's commissioner of children's rights, of war crimes. The court says Russia is kidnapping Ukrainian children and re-educating them as Russians. Ukraine's President Vladimir Zelensky said so far only 300 children have been returned out of more than 16,000 cases. Russian propaganda claims they're saving them. Watch as this family is reunited. They were apart for 4 months. These Ukrainian children were taken by Russia after being trapped in occupied territory. Olga Lopatkina is their mother. Every day they turn the children against us, she says, adding that Russia told them, your parents abandoned you. You probably do not need such parents. Here you will have a better life.
The ICC is doing its part of work. As a court of law, the judges issued arrest warrants. Their execution depends on international cooperation.
Moscow does not recognize the court's authority and denied allegations. Putin will not be arrested if he stays in Russia, but if he travels to any of the 123 countries that are members of the International Criminal Court, international law dictates the country must arrest him. Christian Benavides, CBS News.
The move by the ICC comes as China confirmed President Xi Jinping will travel to Russia to meet with Putin on Monday. It's the first summit since the war began. Beijing, though, has proposed a ceasefire, which the White House has dismissed. In Minnesota, regulators say they're monitoring the cleanup of a leak of 400,000 gallons of radioactive water from Xcel Energy's Monticello nuclear power plant. The company says it took swift action to contain the leak, and there's no health and safety risks. While Xcel reported the leak to state and federal authorities in late November, the spill had not been made public before yesterday. We are getting an update on last month's toxic chemical train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio. An EPA administrator says the cleanup will take at least another 3 months, and that's barring any bad weather or any changes to the site condition. Nearly 7 million gallons of liquid and more than 5,400 tons of solid waste were taken from the site for disposal so far. Former President Donald Trump has posted on Facebook for the first time since January 6th, the day that rioters attacked the U.S. Capitol. The message was short, saying, quote, "I'm back." Trump's return to Facebook restores his access to a critical fundraising tool at the outset of the 2024 presidential race. And he also posted this morning on his own platform, Truth Social, claiming that he is expected to be arrested come Tuesday following the lawsuit happening in New York. So we will continue to cover that as the former president is claiming on Truth Social this morning that he believes he will be arrested on Tuesday. And protesters again facing off against riot police in France. This is as the government's plans to raise the French state pension age by 2 years. A large cutout figure of French President Emmanuel Macron was thrown onto a fire by one protester. Trouble followed similar disorder after Macron decided to push through the contested pension overhaul without a parliamentary vote. And new information, Ford is recalling more than 1.2 million vehicles due to potentially faulty brakes. The recall includes Fusion and Lincoln MKZ models from the years 2013 through 2017, plus a few from 2018. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says their brake hoses can leak fluid, making it harder to stop the vehicles. Still ahead this morning, even more coverage of the Badger women's hockey team's thrilling victory.
FlexSteel is furniture that comforts, furniture for living, furniture with a heart of steel. Save big during our FlexSteel authorized sale, going on now at Waunakee Furniture ETC.
For the plunge you never thought they'd take. For the day you never thought would come. For all the years that have come and gone.
For all those special moments that make life worth living. Diamond Select, downtown Stoughton.
All right, team, we got a big project coming up. And it all starts with ordering promotional products.
I'm on it. 4imprint makes it easy to get the logoed products you're looking for. The latest in apparel, drinkware, bags, high-tech items, and more. You can be certain of getting it right at 4imprint.com.
Come on out. I'm on it.
4imprint, for certain.
You've got this. Whatever it is, you're ready for it. Your newly purchased defenses, top of the line. Your backup, backing up. Yeah, you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with Access Checking. It's maintenance fee-free with no minimum balance requirements. So if your new house still has some old tenants, we'll make sure your checking account won't be giving you any surprises. You've got this with Associated Bank.
Extremist Dan Kelly wants abortion banned, even in cases of rape, incest, and the health of the mother. For years, Kelly was on the payroll of a radical anti-abortion group working to take away women's rights. On the court, Kelly will uphold Wisconsin's 1849 criminal abortion ban that strips women of their freedom to make personal decisions on abortion. Dan Kelly, an extremist who doesn't care about us.
FlexSteel is furniture that comforts, furniture for living, furniture with a heart of steel. Save big during our FlexSteel authorized sale, going on now at Waunakee Furniture ETC.
The picks are in. Now watch throughout the tournament to see how our news anchors fare in a bracket battle. Whose brackets are busted and who will have that one shining moment. See how your picks are measuring up against the News 3 Now anchors every day during our bracket battle.
The candidates for Madison mayor face off. News 3 Now, channel3000.com, and the Cap Times present a debate between Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway and challenger Gloria Reyes.
Watch live streaming March 27th and replayed March 28th on News 3 Now.
Well, a quick update on what we can expect for our Saturday morning and for the rest of our Saturday in itself. Well, it's going to be cloudy and it's going to be on the colder side. We're looking at temperatures through the 20s throughout the rest of today. As you can see around the noon hour and even into our early and later afternoon, we're going to be seeing those lower to mid-20s for us, cloudy conditions. Wind speeds for us and for La Crosse are are going to be the big factor of just how cold it's going to feel outside. So make sure you're layering up when you're running any kind of errands or just wanting to be outside for our Saturday. Outside of that, it's going to be relatively quiet, but the cloud cover is not going to be going anywhere until we get into our Sunday, where we're going to start to see some sunshine for us. Our high today is going to be around 24 degrees from Madison, but again, folks, it is going to be those winds that will be the big issue. We'll talk more about this in a few moments. Till then, back to you, Shane.
All right, Julian, thank you. Well, after 3 full periods of play and almost an entire overtime session, Wisconsin gets the final say in this season's 6th installment of the border battle. The Badgers punching their ticket to the championship game for the 4th time since 2017. In case you missed earlier in the show and couldn't watch this epic national semifinal against Minnesota, here are some highlights. Not even 4 minutes in, Taylor Heisey buries her 30th goal of this season, and the Gophers have an early lead. Well, that holds all the way until midway through the 3rd period. Out of the faceoff, Layla Edwards lights the lamp and ties it up, but it would not last long. 53 seconds later, Sophie Shirley takes the feed and takes the top shelf for the go-ahead goal. Now, we all know at this point this one goes into overtime, and with just 3 minutes left in OT, the WCHA Rookie of the Year playing hero. KK Harvey with an absolute rocket for the 3rd and final Badger goal.
No, obviously we're real excited. You know, great ebbs and flows of overtime, both teams having great chances, and, you know, we got an opportunity, obviously, and KK makes a great shot. I thought conference pass out of the corner was outstanding, and, you know, you bury it, but 6 times we've played each other, and most of the games have been like that.
UW is going to face the defending champs Ohio State on Sunday. That's coming up tomorrow for the title. The Buckeyes punching their ticket after blanking Northeastern 3-0. That game is set for 3 o'clock at the Amsoil Arena tomorrow. 23 years ago, Fall River boys basketball made its first state appearance. It also happened to be their last until this season. Pirates with a chance to bring home their program's first ever gold ball. Only thing standing between them and a spot in the Division V championship game is top-ranked McDonald Central. Early first, Colin Veith cashes in from behind the arc for 3 of his 21 points on the day. Pirates open the game with a 7-0 scoring run, and they're showing how dangerous they are from distance, and down low. Matthew Miller able to knock down the floater, but even a double-digit lead not enough to deter McDonald Central. Bulldogs rally back in the second half, edging Fall River 66-62. The Pirates finished the season 26-4. Marquette opening up NCAA tournament play. Their game against Vermont yesterday airing here on CBS. Golden Eagles take the lead early. Oso Ighodaro quick to add to it. Stuffs for 2 there as Marquette doubles up Vermont. They hold a 9-point lead at half. But the second half, Marquette really dialing it up. Cam Jones, the sophomore, drives inside, fakes out a defender for the bucket. He finishes with 19 points. Then the Golden Eagles, they are moving on to the round of 32. They will face Michigan State. That game is set for Sunday. The tip just came out. That will air at tip-off set for 4:15 tomorrow. And it's official. Alan Lazard put pen to paper with the New York Jets. The former Packer said that standing here today, it feels good knowing that 12's going to be my quarterback again. Now, again, Aaron Rodgers made his intentions clear this week that he wants to play for the Jets, but that trade has not officially happened yet. So we are still on Aaron Rodgers' watch, but we do know he wants to head out to New York. Still ahead this morning, we are looking back at the Iraq War as we approach the 20th anniversary. And you are taking a live look over the Capitol this morning. It's a cold one on this Saturday. Julian tracking those temps when we come back.
Sponsored by Three Bears Resort, Indoor Water Park and Conference Center in Warrens, Wisconsin.
Earn a 30-cent Hy-Vee fuel saver for every $60 you spend. That's a 30-cent fuel saver this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Only at Hy-Vee.
Spring is in the air, and you know what that means. It's Feldco season.
Feldco season. It means 50% off windows with no money down, no payments, and no interest until 2024. So you can replace those eyesores without breaking the bank. It means getting the windows you want fast, so your home's ready for the warmer weather ahead. It's the season of home renewal. It's Feldco season.
This offer won't last long. Hurry. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
There are so many things we take for granted, and along with them, sometimes we take the people who depend on them for granted too. How can they survive with record increases in their basic cost of living, and through no fault of their own, they're being left behind? If you or someone you know needs a hand up, our energy and water providers are working together to keep you safely in your home. You may not ask for it, but we're here to help.
There's a reason big dental bills often come as a shock, because sometimes you don't realize what's not covered until you get the bill. That's why affordable dental insurance from Physicians Mutual is important. It can give you benefits that go beyond what you get from more limited coverage plans. Because no one likes a big dental bill, especially if you're retired or on a fixed income. For a free information kit, call or go online now. This isn't some discount plan or preventive-only coverage. This is real dental insurance that helps cover over 350 procedures, like cleanings, fillings, crowns, bridges, root canals, even dentures, at any dentist you want. Dental insurance from Physicians Mutual Insurance Company helps cover preventive care, basic work, and major procedures, with no deductibles and no annual maximum. For your free information kit with all the details, call now or visit sendinfokit.com.
Physicians Mutual, Physicians Mutual.
Earn a 30-cent Hy-Vee fuel saver for every $60 you spend. That's a 30-cent fuel saver this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Only at Hy-Vee.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Well, as we're kicking off our weekend, let's go ahead and break down what we need to know. Well, our three things we're going to be looking at here is that we are starting with a cloudy and windy day for us. And it's going to stay like that throughout the rest of our Saturday as well. Heading into tomorrow, we're looking at some milder temperatures. We're looking for more sunshine as well. We'll see those 40s start to roll their way in throughout much of southern Wisconsin, especially as we get closer to our Monday. And then next week, we are looking at much more milder temperatures throughout all of southern Wisconsin and much of Wisconsin itself. We're talking 40s, near 50 degrees, and we'll even see potentially even some more spring-like weather later into the week. But let's talk about this weekend. As of right now, we're dealing with cold and windy conditions as those northwesterly winds continue to just bluster throughout the upper Midwest. We are still dealing with some cloud cover that's from the system that had brought in rain just from a couple of days ago, but it's continuing to move its way across Canada, bringing snow to those areas. Luckily for us, we're staying on the drier side, and that's mainly going to be what we're dealing with throughout the rest of this weekend. But wind speeds are going to be a bit of a factor, as we can see gusts around 23 miles per hour for Madison, and even towards Milwaukee around 28 miles per hour. The good news is that La Crosse isn't looking at really strong gusts this morning, but it's just enough breezy conditions that temperatures throughout the upper Midwest in itself, we're waking up folks with 3 degrees below zero as we're starting our Saturday morning, and 2 degrees below zero for La Crosse. So it is a very cold morning for us. Definitely one of those where you need to really start to layer up as you continue throughout the rest of your Saturday. Now, we will see slight improvements, but I mean slight. Once we get into our afternoon and heading into our evening, temperatures will feel like they're into the single digits, but even as we transition into tonight, it's still going to be a very cold one for us. Sunday is where we're really going to see any real change in terms of temperatures and what it's going to feel like for us. But planning out the rest of today, expect it to be very cloudy. Could see some breaks, so not saying that we won't see any sunshine, but cloud cover is mainly going to stick into our skies until we get into our Sunday. Those winds won't start to taper off until we get into the overnight hours, transitioning into Sunday, but we're still dealing with some breezier conditions and colder temperatures as well. We're talking about teens as we're waking up for tomorrow, and then once we get into our afternoon hours, we'll start to see the skies break up a bit, bringing in sunshine, lower 30s and near 40-degree temperatures by the time we get into our Sunday late late afternoon and evening hours. So that's the good news. We are looking for improvements over the next couple of days, but for today, definitely bundle up. We're looking at 24 degrees. Wind speed is going to be very windy, 15 to 25 miles per hour, and that's sustained. That's not even continuing into the gusts that we're going to be seeing. It could be 30 to 35 miles per hour for some areas. And take a look at our 10-day forecast. Now, tomorrow, we're going to see around 39 degrees for us, but temperatures will be on the up and up starting off of next week. Spring is Monday. We're going to be into the upper 40s and then 50s heading into next week. La Crosse is going to be very similar, but folks, we are looking for some spring showers mid part of next week and potentially even some thunderstorms.
All right, Julian, thank you very much. Monday marks 20 years since the start of the U.S.-led war in Iraq. As the invasion unfolded, correspondent Charlie D'Agata was in Jordan and producer Tina Kraus was with a CBS News team in Kuwait. The two eventually made it into Baghdad to cover a conflict that would stretch for 9 years. Now they reflect on the early days of their war assignment.
It's surreal being back. The street lights are on, all the shops are open. I've never known Iraq, or at least this part of Baghdad, to feel this normal. 20 years ago, when the invasion began, that skyline behind me was lit up. In fact, most of this area was lit up with explosions, airstrikes.
I think all of us were on edge. We slept with our gas masks on our pillows for weeks, and now the moment was here. The air raid sirens were blaring across Kuwait as Iraq fired missiles our way.
It was a huge story. It was also my first real war. It was the first time I witnessed such incredible violence, such incredible firepower, the suffering, the suicide car bombings.
I remember driving into Baghdad, and I was shooting some video on my old handy cam at the time, seeing a lot of bombed out buildings, seeing, of course, a lot of American tanks. It was a U.S.-occupied city. I remember there was a statue, the famous one of Saddam Hussein. Someone had written in graffiti, "All done, go home."
There were two hotels, the Sheraton and Palestine, and we parked there for the next few weeks. Of course, there's no electricity, there's no running water.
The humming of generators on the roof just to keep us on television.
We were supposed to be up at the top of the hour.
When you're in a war zone, your colleagues become like family. You work so closely together, but we also found that with the Iraqis. I remember one man and his smile. On the rooftop of our hotel in Baghdad, he had built our wooden shack.
CBS News Bar, Baghdad.
This is the compassionate face of the U.S. military machine. Constantly had to be on your guard. It was a very dangerous place to operate in. I remember very graphically the terrorist attack on the UN building here in Baghdad. That was as close as I've been and as immediate as I've been to a building that has been hit and seen the suffering and the death and destruction of the people. And that left a mark on me.
It is the humanity of this war that I can't forget. It's so many children on the streets. It's a little boy in particular named Mohammed who outside our hotel every morning would give me a big smile. He had no one around taking care of him, but he came back every day.
They're expecting a high voter turnout. I remember the first election day very well. It was a real act of courage to see the men and women of Iraq take part in these elections and risking their lives to do so. The bomb that killed Paul Douglas and James Brolin in 2006 was something that impacted everybody at CBS News. We never come back to Iraq without remembering Paul and James and the sacrifice that they made.
If there's a lesson to be learned from this war for me, it's how fragile life can be. The deaths of our colleagues, the deaths of all the U.S. troops, the deaths of hundreds of thousands of Iraqis, many who are still so scarred deeply by this conflict.
If today is anything to judge by, with the traffic and the shops open, and the checkpoints down, and the blast walls down, and the razor wire down, maybe there's reason to be hopeful.
Come to Slumberland and get 20% off our beautiful new furniture and decor during our Spring Spruce Up event. Plus extra discounts on recliners, patios, Sealy mattresses, and sectionals. Get an extra 20% off right now at Slumberland Furniture.
At Lawton Cates, your life counts is more than just a slogan. It's being prepared for all the challenges you may face after a serious injury. It's confronting every aspect of your case with honesty, integrity, and innovative solutions that have earned us a reputation for excellence in representing the injured. It's no wonder so many clients refer their own friends and family to our team of dedicated professionals year after year. Your life counts. Lawton Cates. Call today for a free consultation.
Backyard living season is coming soon. Coolview has great solutions to beat the backyard blues and save 15 to 25%. Cover your deck with a screen porch, an enclosed porch, or sunroom. If you have a screen porch, let us turn it into an enclosed porch. Shade your patio with a pergola or awning. All on sale now. Let Coolview show you how to tame your backyard blues. Call now for a quote before the sun sets on savings.
Get a new view from Coolview.
All right, team. We got a big project coming up. And it all starts with ordering promotional products.
I'm on it. 4imprint makes it easy to get the logoed products you're looking for. The latest in apparel, drinkware, bags, high-tech items, and more. You can be certain of getting it right at 4imprint.com. Come on out. I'm on it.
4imprint, for certain.
Do you have an idea for an invention, but you don't know what to do next? Call InventHelp. They've been helping inventors for 35 years. InventHelp has helped over 10,000 inventors get patents. You can meet with an InventHelp representative who will keep your idea confidential and explain their invention process step by step. And InventHelp's databank includes over 9,000 companies who have agreed to review new ideas. Take action and get the help you need from InventHelp.
800-550-5543. This is Matt Gunderson, and this is Elmer, our canine cuddle ambassador, here to provide good-natured, loving, fuzzy support to further our level of personal care. Someday you might meet Elmer as we assist you with an individual life celebration.
Sleeping in pain or too hot? Come to Slumberland and get 20% off mattresses. Find your perfect mattress with our easy rating system and save big. Get a Sealy Queen mattress for just $4.99. Only at Slumberland.
Mission Unstoppable, Saturday morning at 9.
Finally this morning, a trip to the airport isn't always smooth sailing, but as Dua Israr reports, one nonprofit has some furry personnel to make the experience not so rough.
Tanner's side. Good boy.
You don't need wings to take flight. Just 4 paws and an excited tail.
Although he's a large boy, he's very calm for his age.
Through the busyness and bustle of airports, Tanner's around to guide you to your destination.
Regardless of the distractions happening around him, he was able to still focus on me and give me eye contact.
He's just one of many Can Do Canines, a nonprofit where the employees live up to their name.
Good boy.
These dogs train to be service animals from the moment they're born.
You know, being able to help somebody and giving back.
This TSA check may not be for a real flight, but for Tanner, it's just a normal day on the job.
Some dogs are a little more afraid of some of the beeps, and there's other dogs that get overwhelmed when they go into new places.
After their final training, Can Do Canines matches every dog with a client who has a disability for free.
It's just so neat when our dogs graduate and we hear and we see what they're doing and how they can make somebody else's life different.
Tanner still has ways to go before he's a full-fledged service dog.
Very proud of Tanner. He did wonderful today.
But he's getting there one paw at a time. Reporting in Eau Claire, Dua Israr, News 8 Now.
That's a great service those dogs provide, and sure makes the process a lot easier. All right, Julian, before we go, how about one more check of the weather?
Well, we're going to see cold temperatures today, but we are going to be warming up as we get into the back end of this weekend and heading into next week. But folks, beware, it is going to be windy throughout today and heading into our Sunday, and we're looking at some rain heading into next week.
All right, Julian, thank you very much. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you back here tomorrow.